High school sports, what a spring on the ball diamond for Dunlap. The Eagles earn a share of both the Middle Illini baseball and softball titles. The Dunlap baseball team won 11-3 in the Middle Illini to tie East Peoria atop the conference. The Eagles used pitching, defense, and the ability to consistently win close games to earn that Middle Illini championship.
They got a lot of grit. I mean, they fight, they battle to the last pitch. Couldn't be any prouder of them than I am. This conference is just loaded.
Congratulations to the baseball Eagles. And how about Dunlap Eagles softball? The Eagles beat perennial powers Metamora and East Peoria in back-to-back games Thursday and Friday to wind up in a three-way tie atop the Middle Illini softball race. The Eagles swept all 7 Middle Illini opponents the second time they played them to finish as a conference champ.
It means a lot. For the last 4 years, we've been saying oh, when we're all seniors, we'll be really good. And you know, at the beginning of the season, we all sat down and wrote down our goals, and we were like, we want to be one of the top 3. And so for us to perform in the last half of the season was a big deal for us.
Dunlap opens tourney play at their own regional coming up tomorrow. The Big Stool State Tournament does begin with regional games. The top teams will wait until Wednesday to play, but today Metamora was hosting Peoria High, and Tyler Mason, known for those three-point shots in basketball, this is a 3-base hit in baseball that'll score Drew Luddicke and A.J. Stone, as Metamora had a huge first inning. Later, still in the first inning, Gavin O'Loughlin is locked in on this one. He's knocking it out of the ballpark for a home run. He'll meet A.J. Stone at home plate. Stone will hit a homer later. Metamora, a big winner. They'll play Morton on Wednesday. Last year's Cinderella team, Peoria Richwoods, wins a thriller today over Geneseo. Down 3-2 in the 5th inning. Justice Rush goes the opposite way. It's not very deep, but Coach Hogan's sending Bryce Hopkins home, and Hopkins' head first slide is going to tie the game right here. Then in the bottom of the 7th inning, how about a walk-off? It's state tourney time. Max Schwartz, the hit. Rush is coming home, and they're rushing the field to celebrate with Schwartz. Richwoods wins it 4-3. In lacrosse, Washington taking on Manuka tonight. And in the first period, watch as Washington's Jackson McQuarrie comes right in. The goalie never saw it. Never saw it. Went in right over his head for the first goal of the game. Later, Jackson McQuarrie to the freshman, Dan Gorman, and Gorman stuffs it home for another Washington goal. Gorman had a terrific match. He's going to get a pretty goal right here as he's going to set up Gabe Patterson, and Patterson's going to slam in another goal for Washington. Then watch Gorman race the ball down the field. This is the end of the first half, a big goal. He gets it to Jackson McQuarrie, to Kana McQuarrie, who fires it over the goalie's head. Washington wins it and advances. They'll be home again on Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, sectional soccer games kick off. What a doubleheader at Washington in Class 2A soccer. Game 1, Morton versus Peoria Richwoods. Game 2, Peoria Notre Dame versus Normal U High. Based on seeds, Peoria Notre Dame and Morton are the favorites. The Big 12 champion Irish and Middle Illini champion Potters expect tough battles tomorrow, but both teams are playing very, very good soccer heading into the Washington sectional.
They're very competitive and they don't want to lose, and that's something that they want to win, and they really kind of bring the team together, and they have a no quit attitude.
The girls are just knocking the ball around, kind of just possessing, controlling the midfield, getting the ball out wide. It's getting a lot of opportunities by taking that outside, so it's been a lot of fun so far. Hopefully continue it.
Should be a great doubleheader of action at Washington. The title game is set for Saturday at 11 a.m.